get started. Let's see. Okay, that's getting this one out of there. What is this? Oh, yeah. Little one. And this is contained all the others. Why don't we put them in this order so that we're looking at them in the order that... Oh, sorry, excuse me, you saw them. We'll begin with My Home Hero, which is definitely a show I'm curious about because I watched the first episode and the premise was interesting. Regions A and B. Japanese English, so it's got English dub. Guess I'm not entirely sure where it was after the first episode, I guess. Or did I watch it through the second episode? I don't remember. Maybe I should watch it. Maybe I don't have the energy to try to do that. 2 discs. I'll be honest, it's kind of hard for me to tell what the background is. Oh well, but it's an interestingly colorful DVD given the subject matter, which I think is part of the point. Anyways, Bluelock, isn't this Season 1 Part 2? DVD Blu-ray. We can look at the back after we get that. Different on the slipcover. You know, I always like that. Whoa! Ugh. Sorry about that. Regions A and B. Focus camera. Audio, English and Japanese. So this is dub and sub. And no Aaron Yeager was in this one. Like Keith. So let's see. I think that's DVDs. Most of these were DVDs and these were the Blu-rays. Okay. This one's kind of funny. This is Kenichi the Mightiest disciple. I can't read what it is, but it is an OVA or an OVA collection or something like that. And it's kind of funny because Amazon was just absolutely insistent on making sure I couldn't see this. The Attack of Darkness. But yeah. Okay, it's the same. Guess I'm not too surprised. There's a dub in there. English, signs and songs. 11 episodes. Did this come out and I don't remember? And this is just a Blu-ray copy. I don't remember. Oh well. Next up we've got a Belladonna of Sadness. The Blu-ray 4K edition. Which I don't think I had, but you know, I figured, you know, even if I don't have a 4K player, I might as well collect stuff on 4K Blu-ray, just because I'm a collector. And let's see, Japanese with English subtitles only. Pretty straightforward. I'm guessing one of these is just a regular Blu-ray. Maybe the same one as before. I keep wanting to call it Belladonna of Darkness because Jesus Christ are these dark. I can read that one. Ultra HD. I think that's indicating this is 4K. Anyways, that's just my guess. Next up we have IGPX on Blu-ray, which I don't know if it's actually been released on Blu-ray before, but I don't remember it being released on Blu-ray before. Let's look at the back real quick. That's a lot of Oh no, it's only just English and Japanese. I thought it was multiple languages. Region A. Different on the slipcover. And it's been a while since I watched it, but I remember enjoying it back in the day. 5 discs. And then that would be... Oh, so yeah, it was different under the slipcover. And the slipcover version would be there if you prefer that on it as well. Next up we have Lightspeed Electroid Albegas. I must admit, don't know much about it. I guess before I look at the back, let's get this plastic off. So if I can't do that manually, then there we go. I was getting some resistance in the middle there, and I was afraid of, I don't know, I guess giving myself a paper cut or something. But here I am. Okay. Underneath the slipcover, nice and different. Pretty cool. That's Japanese with English subtitles only. Yeah. Region A. Yeah. Nice and straightforward. 1 disc. This is standard definition on Blu-ray. So yeah, it is 1 disc with a bunch of standard definition episodes on it. Pretty cool. And then last, but actually almost overlooked, Chie the Brat, which I initially thought wasn't anime because a lot of the stuff that's listed on Amazon, it lists a lot of non-anime stuff under the anime section, and then it lists, it doesn't list a lot of stuff under anime that is anime and it should be shown, but you know, this one, for some reason I didn't process it. That's Japanese with the subtitles. Oh, there we go, Region A. And I guess, you know, looking at the background characters, it's especially obvious it's Japanese. Looking at just her, it wasn't immediately obvious to me. Like, I guess it came off as maybe a Spanish animation or something like that initially. But no, you look at it a bit more, it's like, okay, yeah, it looks like anime. It looks like an adorable little show. Pretty sure somebody out there really liked this. I mean, not like one person, but lots of people. Anyways, there we go. Nice and quick. Here's this week's anime physical collection update. Let's see, didn't watch a lot with my Friday friend. He high prioritized the next dub episode of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Season 3. So that would be the dub episode of episode 55. And, you know, it's a much better episode from the other ones where actual things are happening. It's like, yeah, this feels like slime, reincarnated as a slime sort of stuff. It's a fun episode. Well, I'm trying to think of what happened for me and my couple episodes later stuff, but I'll talk about that in a bit. Konosuba, Season 3, Episode 8. This was actually a nice episode now that I think about it. Once again, Kazuma showing some of his interesting stuff. Maybe not him just being like single-handedly awesome like in a couple episodes ago, but instead just like, you know, he comes up with ideas that are just like, wow, that's actually a pretty good idea. He's pretty cool. Mysterious Disappearances, Episode 8. Okay, this one was about that bookstore. I guess it was an interesting episode. I guess, yeah, I think people who are mystery junkies are probably enjoying this show, but I can't help but feel like sometimes it doesn't feel like it's mysterious enough. So, you know, maybe they're just enjoying it. Some of them, you know, would be their favorite. I mean, you know, the characters are pretty good, but I don't know. Archdemon's Dilemma, episode 10. I guess this would probably be one of the more predictable episodes, I would say. Not bad, but it's doing some of the stuff that I kind of was guessing it would maybe try aiming for. What happened there? I don't know. Stuff happened, and it's interesting stuff. It's, again, the kind of stuff I probably would have wanted to happen. I guess it's mostly a question of what the follow-up episode is like. I guess it's getting close to the end of the series. It should be the end for a number of these, but this is episode 10. So there's probably only 1 or 2 more episodes. Well, sorry, 2 or 3 more episodes left. So it should be kind of getting close to a sort of thematic finale or core finale or something. I guess it sort of feels like a big thing's happening. Hard to say how much that happening feels like it's related to the core of the theme of the series, but yeah, good stuff. Solid Bowl of Eccentrics, episode 9. Let's see. Entertaining enough. I would say this was an episode that plays into the strengths of the fundamental premise of the show pretty well. Maybe the next one is a little weaker, but, you know, I guess that makes episode 9 a good follow-up to episode 8. Delicious in Dungeon, episode 22. What happened in this? That. I think good stuff. I don't know if the cooking... if I can remember anything about the cooking being particularly clever, but instead it was just kind of the story direction, story development sorts of stuff. Yeah, that's right. That's what the cooking... that was some weird cooking. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Season 3, Episode 57. Oh, yes. Okay. Now I remember. In this episode, because I kind of remember that we didn't get an immediate follow-up to the important things that happened in the previous episode. There was kind of a side, okay, it's doing slightly other stuff. And I guess they're doing that because they need to catch up on that, because what happened at the end of this episode is a slight follow-on from what happened at the previous one, but we needed to have, I think, the full context set up for whatever they're planning to do next, which definitely curious about. But it was okay. Misfit of Demon King Academy, Season 2, Episode 19. Okay, so some of the stuff that I thought that I might have mentioned was really confusing an episode or 2 ago. I guess they took time to explain some of it here. I'm trying to think what all they may have set up, but I guess it was entertaining enough. I guess it's kind of setting up and implying some of the big, maybe closer to core things of the show too. So, pretty nice. Irregular Magic High, Season 3, Episode 9. This is the beginning of the next arc, which doesn't feel like a next arc, because, you know, these arcs have kind of continued one from the other a bit, I think. Let's see. You had something happen. I guess that was entertaining enough. Entertaining enough, I guess. Train to the End of the World, Episode 9. I think it's giving us some wider awareness of where everything is in preparation for whatever it's going to be doing in the finale. It's okay. God's Game We Play, Episode 9. Let's see. The previous episode set up what they were going to do in this one. And this one is kind of a setup for what they're doing in the next one. So it's kind of going a little bit, but you know, it's okay. Kaiju number 8, Episode 8. Well, yes, the previous episode did begin on a bit of a... or did end on a little bit of a cliffhanger. And this one... let's see. Yeah, pretty entertaining stuff. Guess I'm curious to see where it's going to go next. Newgate, Episode 8. Let's see. I guess it was okay. You know, a bit of a emotional moment episode for the show, and you know, Maybe some people find it effective, maybe not. I guess I'm a little bit indifferent myself. Not that I thought it was bad, but I don't know. I guess the show just kind of, it feels a little tricky to invest just because I'm not sure if I get a sense of goal or something like that. Maybe goal in the moment, but I can't really say thematically what I feel like the show is trying to aim for, per se. Maybe it doesn't have much of a thing, but, you know, of course, that just means it doesn't feel as strong, but whatever. Reincarnated Aristocrat, Appraisal Skill, Episode 9. Let's see. Guess an interesting enough follow-up from what was set up in the previous episode. I'm trying to think what to expect after this. Oh, yes, it was setting that up, so I guess it's okay. Jobless Reincarnation, Season 2, Episode 20. It's, if I were to have any complaint, it's that it kind of gave 2 time frames that thematically don't match up. It's not 2 time frames. It gave a time frame, but then an event that kind of thematically don't match up, I guess. Where there is the trope of somebody getting saved, you know, somebody who's gotten isolated from the group and them getting saved at the nick of time. But at the same time, usually it's like, oh, well, it's a good thing they did take 5 months and plus 1 day, because it supposedly was a very long time, but it's definitely a little convenient feeling, I suppose. Although at the same time, I would also say that it is something that I'm actually looking forward to what the next episode's going to follow up with, because I would say this is something important for the show. Tsukimichi, Season 2, Episode 22. Okay stuff. I guess some interactions, but I think some of it is, this episode is actually set up for what's going to happen the next episode or two, I guess. I mean, there's some action in there, but it's, you know, kind of Tsukimichi Season 2 paced sort of stuff, I suppose. Reincarnated as the Seventh Prince, Episode 10. An entertaining enough follow-up from the previous episode, which kind of covers a lot of the stuff that characters other than our main character doing stuff. But now I want to see the main character. Although that's Episode 10, so 11, 12. If it's a 12 episodes show, then yeah, this is a bit of a season or core finale. Monster, Episode 10. I wonder if this one's setting up for a finale or not. Not sure. But it was definitely interesting that it went the direction that it did, and it was kind of neat, I'd say. I'm not sure if it was great. Maybe that's a bit of personal preference, of course, but man. That's right. That's what happened at the very end, and yeah. Curious about what the next episode brings. Spice and Wolf. You know, Merchant Meets the Wise Wolf, Episode 10. Always kind of nice to watch it, especially with the, you know, third act pull, the proper third act pull that this show pulled, and it's like, yeah, and here comes the end of that, and, well, I mean, the end isn't there, but the setup for the end is there, and yeah, it's more or less vaguely going how I remembered. Not the details, just kind of the overarching, oh yeah, they did that sort of thing, didn't they? So, you know, nice episode. And then finally, Chilling in Another World with Level 2 Super Cheat Powers, Episode 9. Which I guess was okay. I guess setting up to have an actual, like, confrontation sort of thing happen. Especially since, you know, they've established that our main character really doesn't want to fight. And I think I like some of that stuff, and I'm just a little bit happy watching it, just doing a thing. And I'm kind of curious where it's going to go from there. Since it's, you know, that was Episode 9, so it's setting up for the finale sort of stuff. Alright, is there anything else to talk about? I did get the new Dead by Daylight chapter, which is the Dungeons & Dragons one. Brings you Vecna. For those of you familiar with Stranger Things, this is not Vecna from Stranger Things. This is Vecna, the Dead by Daylight character that inspired the name of Vecna from Stranger Things. So the Archlinks, I guess. Archlich. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. But so far I've only had the energy to dump the blood points I saved up for all this into things. This is the first chapter where I've prioritized leveling up the survivor over the killer. Now granted, I did pause a little bit to get the killer to unlock all the perk slots so that I could at a minimum have access to that. But I figured getting the survivor ones to Prestige 3 was a higher early priority just because I don't know, the survivor perks are a bit more fun. There's some fun things I think you can do with some of the killer perks. I'm trying to remember what all three of them are. I guess I can kind of remember all three of them. And one of them's interesting. Huh. Yeah, I'll have to think about playing around with that and see what I want to do. But otherwise, you know, it's fun stuff, I guess. But I just haven't played it. Just no energy to do it. That said, you know, I mean, I do watch bits and pieces of a lot of stuff there, but I do have to appreciate Attack on Titan. So I read the opinion of somebody who watched it for the first time, and I don't think they're finished watching it. But some of the comments they made, and some of the comments some of the people made, just gave me a real appreciation for the show. Like, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. Probably I have, but you know, Attack on Titan does really good story twists. And what I mean by that is, you know, you'll have something, in my mind, Lost is one of those where it's just like, okay, here's a mystery, and when it solves that mystery, you can kind of tell that they're solving it by just intentionally giving you another mystery. It doesn't really feel like they're connected, and it, to me, makes it feel artificial. It's the complete opposite of Attack on Titan. You get revealed a mystery, and you're like, oh wow, that really explains things. That feels very natural, surprisingly natural. And then you go back and you're like, holy shit, they've actually been planning this thing the whole time. You can watch episodes near the end of it and incredibly mind-blowing plot twists there, and you go back to the first episode and you're like, holy shit, they were even hinting about this at the very beginning, and I didn't even notice. Just, it's, you know, there's something about it that's great. But you know what was really magical? Thinking about that and then realizing that you could tell that this was a show planned out from the beginning. Like, this person had a roadmap of, people are going to learn about this secret here and then this secret here. They planned out when the plot twists would happen, what they were, what was going to happen all the way through. They planned it out. But surprisingly, see, like, usually when you're writing a story, it's my understanding that you kind of build the characters in your head, and then the characters kind of do their own thing. And for some writers, I think this can be a problem because they can have an idea for what the story is and how it gets there, but then the characters kind of have trouble getting there. And I think of some long-written writers who kind of had problems there, and their characters got away from them a little bit. Then they were still good, and I'm not a big reading person, so, you know, just nod your head at this and say, yeah, but, yeah, you know, all of y'all have probably read more than I have and are much more experts on this than I am. But I guess the point I'm getting at is, despite the fact that Attack on Titan was so meticulously planned out from the beginning, somehow the characters' personalities, their believability, just did not feel like it suffered. It's almost kind of impossible when I think about it. Like, usually you watch something and you kind of say, okay, well, I can understand why they did that, convenience of the plot or something like that. Attack on Titan just never felt like that. It didn't feel like it had to change the characters. The characters did the right thing the whole fucking time. It was always where it needed to be. And that's pretty incredible. So, yeah, you know, I guess I'm ending this with some appreciation there, because other than that, I'm just completely exhausted. But I'm at least keeping up with my daily anime watching. I got some older stuff to watch or rewatch or something like that. I just haven't gotten the time to doing it. But I digress. I'll go ahead and wrap things up there. Y'all, have a nice week.